You've taken over film, Anarchy. How does that come up? How does all that come in? Is that something you want to do for a while? What was,
Okay, so Anarchy Films has about 450 to 465 titles, right?
okay?
And I star in a lot of them. And so when the owner says to me, there's nobody that I would rather trust to give this to than you. And he's out of the business. I actually saw him yesterday, but he's out of the business. He doesn't want his name on it or anything like that. But everybody knows who the owners of Anarchy used to be. And he said, "There's no one else in the whole world that I'd rather give this than you." And I'm like, "What do you expect me to do with it?"
Right.
And so, yeah, so then I got a silent partner, and now we everything is in line. So are you going to re-show this on Facebook or anything? Because I have some titles up here, but they are
Yes,
X-rated.
I can. That's fine. But they're so tiny on 'em. If I have to, I'll blow them out. No worries. But okay, but without kissing your butt, you've got such a innate background because you've done all aspects of this business. So when this opportunity first comes up, is there anything specific you look at these and you say, yeah, I want to make sure and get this with these?
Okay, yeah. So, okay, so like Pornhub and a lot of those streaming video sites, a lot of the huge companies like Vivid and Brazzers, they'll only hire the top 10% trending porn stars. And the reason being is because they have the most followers on their social media pages.
Right.
So the companies want to hire the girl that can sell the movies for them instead of hiring the girls that actually like sex and, you
Yes.
know, letting everybody buy it that actually, wants a piece. But they're cutting everybody out of the industry. Pornhub, top 10%, they're cutting out the MILFs, they're cutting out the new girls, they're cutting out a lot of the African American girls. They just want the top 10%. And those top 10%, A, you can pay for followers. Two, there's robots that, you know, chat
Right.
with every one of your fans on there. Three, most of the girls up there don't even like sex. When you get them on set, they're like, "Don't pull my hair, don't kiss me in the face, don't smack my butt." I'm like, "Get out of the way." These chicks are like, if you're in porn to get a Mercedes payment, get the get the hell out of the way, please, and let the real sex lovers their jobs to get it to the real sex lovers that want to actually see people who enjoy it for a living. I think COVID actually killed the industry because when everybody was stuck inside and everybody had a phone and anybody was, filming themselves humping their boyfriends and then they would upload it onto Pornhub and they were making some money,
Right.
that kind of killed the industry a little bit because everybody who makes a sex video thinks they're a porn star now. And it's like, so the market is flooded. Not to say that, in Podunk, Iowa, you and Tracy Lou, going at it wasn't hot, but it's flooded with just nonsense and stuff like that. And you don't get any in between. Like,
Mm.
no in between. You get the top, you got the top 10% of Pornhub, and then you got the amateur stuff, people making shit at home on their phones. They're forgetting about like everybody in between.
Uh, do you see a difference between content creators and people in mainstream adult? People who are porn stars versus people who create content?
No, because, well, it depends. Like mainstream adult is like, I'm a porn star. This is, my professional photos. I know the makeup, I know the lighting, as opposed to on the other side, the content creators, they can and will hire anybody just to, okay, you off the street, come here and fuck, and then we'll shoot it and it's sex. So content creator, I can create content right now, I could take a picture of my ass, but that doesn't make it good. you know Content creators should have some sort of, you got to make it good. You can't just be shooting a bunch of nonsense, and flood the market and flood the market and flood the market with the same kind of bullshit without any. It's like, where the fuck are the real people in this industry anymore? They all died. Thing. It's crazy.
You look at the titles you're into anarchy. What memories does it bring back and stuff for you?
Okay, so for me, like, one of my very first films that I did for them was Playing with Cindy Crawford. It was like an interactive DVD. But I would change the entire way that it's shot, because in my mind, playing with, and you see the girl in the box cover playing with, you don't want to see her just do a bunch of random 5 scenes fucking John West or whoever, because it's just a normal scene. Like, I think, not to knock it, but if you're going to buy something playing with, you want to play with her. Like, you're the guy at home jerking off. Like, you want her to talk to you. You don't want a normal sex scene, whatever. Playing with. You're playing with me. What do you want me to do for you? Not just bam, 5 scenes, And so that's one of the things that I would like to change. So we're going to continue that line,
And
but it's going to be more interactive. Like, there's going to be menu items to where, what would you like Cindy to do playing with? What would you like Cindy to say? What, do you want a striptease from Cindy? Do you want a blowjob from Cindy? Do you want her to open up just for you? That kind of stuff. Like, playing with. Because I'm, because if you buy a Playing with Cindy Crawford DVD, I'm fucking John West. So I'm not really playing with I'm not playing with you.
right.
That's what I would change.
And for you, was there an award or a movie you did where you felt you'd established yourself?
Oh, well, you know, it is real. It still is. It's really hard to get contracted in this business, with one certain company. And I was contracted 4 times, but I remember that very first, I wanted a contract so bad, because to me, that set me a little bit higher than everybody else. I was a little bit more special than anybody else. And the first contract was shit. My agents had to cancel it like immediately. I'm like, what? I just signed that. But I think when you get a contract and they're featuring you, and you have ideas for movies, you write your own movies, you get to pick your own directors. When you walk into a room, everybody stops and stares at you. They know who you are. The banners, the huge hoopla, the whole porn star experience. That is so great, and it's so humbling. But you don't know that you've actually arrived unless you've won an award. And I hate to say that, but in any industry, you have to win an award or an achievement for your peers to recognize that you're a little bit better than everybody else. Not better. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying maybe I tried a little harder or something. I don't know what would be the right word to say. I'm a little up here, you know what I mean? It's really hard to win awards. I tried for fucking 7 years to win an award. I tried every single year. And we used to send a press packet every single year. And like I was nominated for everything under the sun, but you know, so then I got two. And then I just recently found out I won some international award, which nobody even told me about. I wish somebody had told me about that.
For you, what is a good scene? Is a good scene perfectly lit? Is a good scene energy? Is a good scene just crazy off the wall sexual acts?
That's a good question. A good scene for an actual porn star is A, chemistry with the person you're working with, B, getting so into the desire and the sex of it that you forget that you're being filmed. You know, you're so in the moment, you're so, I'm gonna come, and you forget, and director's like, hey, you got to open up. We can't see anything, and you're like, give us 5 minutes. A good scene to me is somebody who loves sex, okay, who loves the attention, knowing that there are men, women, and I guess now we have to include all, I don't know, gender stuff. We'll just say everybody, knowing that everybody is going to watch this and jerk off to it. Like, I want to know that I did that, because it's kind of like a power trip. And it's just, when I'm having sex on camera and I feel that fucking energy and I'm coming, I want that film to capture that. And it's just not like that anymore. Girls nowadays, they just come in, they do like a Humpty Dumpty dance, and then it's over. But they don't even break a sweat in these scenes anymore.
Okay. Everything you just said, I agree with 2,000,000%, but let me alter that slightly now. For you, what is a good Cindy Crawford scene?
Where I enjoyed myself, I got to come, I had fun with my co-star, and when he's like, no, it's not time to come, and then I like pinch it back just to fuck with him, just to like mess between the two of us and stuff like that. Good, hard, not just, pound, 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 because that's not what sex is all about. It's just about the energy and the love of the sex and you know, so any of my scenes is a good Cindy Crawford scene. I should have said that in the beginning. Why? Any Cindy Crawford scene is a good scene. No, any chick that doesn't enjoy it shouldn't be in my industry, and they're in here just to make money. And they need to get the hell out of here, because they're a fad. They're only going to last for so long. They're never going to last. And meanwhile, they're cock blocking the rest of us.
We've touched on it slightly, but when you come back, what are the biggest changes you notice within the industry?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I was out for 13 years, right? And that's because I had to get my head straight, right? And so because I never actually, was going to come back, I was doing high price escorting and making like a lot of money, but I was very cranky, it just was, it was too repetitive. It was just too, you know, I just didn't like it and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I've got more to give in the porn industry. So when I went to come back, It took me 3 years of emailing my photos of every single month, this is what my body looks like, this to every producer that I had known and whatever. Nobody would give me a chance. Every single agency wouldn't give me a fucking shot, would not give me a fucking shot. It took me 3 fucking years in order for 101 to say, okay, we'll give you a shot. And then it was like, okay, this is great, this is great. But then, because 101 has problems that I don't want to mention, but so when I went to a different agency who actually knows my potential, who knows what I've done, who cares about the models, who gets me to gigs, who is just not like, let's see how many chicks we can have on our roster, but let's see how many chicks we can get on our top, like, the AVN billboards, the box covers, the nominations and stuff like that. So when I switched companies, I was like, this is the place for me. So I'm where I am very, very well appreciated. It's Ideal Image models. And I hope to, well, not hope to, but I don't want to use all of their goals all at once in like the first release of our first movie, but I've got some ideas, but I just don't know where to go with it. I wanted to, because Anarchy, Python Pictures, and Fifth Element Films, I own all three. And so we're just concentrating on Fifth Element or Anarchy right now. I wanted to change Python Pictures to Python Pisters, Piss, and make it a fetish gay line, a complete gay fetish line. What do you think?
It's amazing.
Like, I haven't even run it by anybody, but what do you think about that?
No, because you have a valuable asset over people and you have experience, you have knowledge of the business. And every time you mention sex, you smile. So you're sincere and you're authentic. So if you have an idea for something, in my opinion, it's going to work.
I don't think there's any like true gay fetish hardcore lines out there.
Not
And
at all.
that would make sense, right? Python Pictures, Python Pistures, like you could do some pissing and some like, coming the ants and stuff like that. And the Python would obviously be the dick, the male dick, the Python. I don't know. What do you think? I think I would like to make that whole
I think it'll work.
company a gay fetish line.
I mean, the industry has changed so much now, and there's like a niche for everything. But the thing that you have, and just my 2 cents, is you have a sincerity behind it. Sincerity. I'll get that word right. Anyway, you believe in what you're doing and you'll put the time to make it successful.
Yes. So we just started. We just got our relaunch and our LLC like 2 months ago. So, and we're already set up to shoot the second week in January, right before ABN. So I'm really excited about that.
Good. Without kissing your butt, were you surprised at how happy everybody and excited was when you came back, that you're back?
Yeah, and it took a long time for people to realize that I was back because I didn't get the media coverage. Like I said, it took me 3 years just to get a scene, just give me a fucking shot. And then it took me, I think, like another 6 months to get an agent. So that's a lot of wasted time. And so even then, even though I was doing the scenes, nobody actually knew I was back yet, because the social media wasn't there. After 13 years, we we didn't have all the social media bullshit. If a company wanted to hire you, you went in person and you fucking stripped down naked and you said, okay, I'll take you. All right, what's your availability? They're called go-sees. And so nowadays it's like, what's all this social media, stuff? So I had to learn on my own, very slowly, very slowly. And I was like, man, how are these girls doing it, And it's like, there's bots and they pay, for followers, and it's just ridiculous, Any girl that says that they're making millions of dollars on OnlyFans is full of shit. 1,000% full of shit. There's no fucking way. No way. Show me the bank statements.
Okay,
But
do you have an
yeah,
OnlyFans
go
and all
ahead.
that, or loyal fans, or somebody's fans at this point?
Yeah, I do have OnlyFans. I have loyal fans. I have, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I have all that stuff. Um, Obviously, I don't have them offhand right now, but I'll
Right,
send
right,
you
but
them.
no, no, that's fine. But my question for you would be, how much different will the content you shoot for OnlyFans be as opposed to stuff you do for the company?
Okay, so my OnlyFans is mainly just photo shoots that I've done of not that I've done, but like twisties, brazzers, um, hustler, Playboy, um, all of those photo sets are basically on my OnlyFans. And the anarchy stuff is stuff that's not been released. It's never been released. Like, I was going through a ton of shit earlier, and like, out of one disc, let's say Aurora Snow is going to do a boy girl scene, right? And they start out with like her masturbating with a toy. Okay, there's like 200 photos of her in different positions of that. And then she changes outfits and toy, and there's another 200 of that. And then when the guy finally comes in, there's like 200 of her just doing blowjob, and then 200 in each position. So there is so much content that hasn't been released anywhere yet, you know? Not to mention, I got behind the scenes that's never been edited. It's still camcorder, you know. When the directors used to use those handheld camcorders, like mini DV cams and beta cams and Sony, I've got all the masters and stuff like that. I've even got the slides that they used to make when they put them on light boards, those
Right.
square things.
Yes.
Oh, millions, like millions of them, millions and millions and millions that never went anywhere. They spent so much money on all of this shit that nobody did anything with. And I know that it's like old time shit, we're talking, like Nina Hartley shit. But at one point I would like to release, and some old stuff with new stuff, old stuff with new stuff, just to give the youngins nowadays a little taste of what actual porn is supposed to look like when we actually love having sex, as opposed to when we're having sex for a Mercedes payment. Yeah,
Right.
we're gonna release everything. We're gonna release everything that I have, and we're going to start with new production the second week of January, just so that our first release is going to be like brand spanking new. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I'm
Yeah, but
really excited, actually.
I'm sorry.
Now, I'm not going to be in the first one. Nobody wants to say, oh, you're the owner. You can't be in every episode. Come on.
Um,
Can you imagine? I'm on every box cover, every single scene. Ridiculous.
no. Will you still be shooting for other companies, or are you just shooting for Anarchy?
course. No, I still do scenes. Yeah, I still do scenes regularly. But the problem is no one will hire me. Because I am a MILF and nobody knows where actually to find me. Like I actually have like a second jobs account where I go and like find jobs and stuff, you know. And a lot of that is just, you know, new companies or just starting out or content trades or stuff like that. But like Brazzers and stuff like that, they only hire me as like an actor role. They won't hire me in a sex role.
That will change.
Maybe I'm too old.
You're never too old.
I know. Isn't there granny porn out there?
But there's an interesting thing in the business. MILFs, and I don't like the word MILF because beauty is beauty, but the MILF niche has always been extremely popular. But we're in a business that likes 20-year-olds, to be politically correct. Why do you think
Right.
that is? That the MILFs are always that popular, and I won't say more than the 20-year-olds, but it's close.
Well, Mom Swap, I was in Mom Swap, and that series is huge. So I actually showed up, you know, full glam makeup on that set. And the director goes, you're supposed to be a soccer mom. Go wash your makeup off. I said, all of it? He said, all of it. I said, fuck. To do my whole scene barefaced? You're trying to make me look old, right?
Right.
I was like trying to like leave some on.
Um, where are you from originally?
I'm from Las Vegas, right here in Las Vegas. I was born and raised 10 miles from here. I was conceived 10.2 miles from here.
In grade school, do you have a favorite subject?
Yeah, English, and I actually went to college for forensic science.
Uh, when you were growing up, did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Yeah, I wanted to be a forensic scientist, but that when my mom died and I found her dying, it kind of threw a wrench in the monkey works. So I was like, because in college we were at the stage where we were dissecting cadavers and finding your mom dying. You don't want to go back to college after that. You're like, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm done. No more. I got to find
Well,
something new to do.
I'm sorry to hear about that. In high school, were you a popular girl? Were you a loner? Were you a geek, a nerd?
Um, you know what's really funny about that is I was extremely popular. Everybody knew who I was, but I didn't know anybody because, you know, I kept to myself. I was very shy and I didn't really have an identity. So I hung out with the stoners. So when they would be passing weed around, I never took the weed. I didn't try weed until I was on set with like Rick Masters for the first time. And you know, I would wear the Doc Martens and the flannels and stuff, you know, just find people that actually accept me. And yeah, so I was very shy, very quiet. Um, I graduated the top 5% of the state of Nevada. I was flown to Washington, D.C. to meet the president. I was head of the Future World Leaders of America Summit. so, so I used to be really smart.
In high school, were you popular with the boys?
Because I was actually engaged to an Air Force guy when I was 13 and he was 22. And after the whole teenage, you can't keep me away from him. Oh, he's too old for you. I'm going to call a sergeant. I'm like, I'm the only one of your kids that has straight A's. Don't tell me who to fuck, mom. Don't put limitations. It's going to happen anyway. You know it's going to happen anyway. So she finally, okay, fine. And then my whole family ended up loving him. Like years until I was 17 years old. Like he was there, he even had a key to my house to where he could tuck me in at night and lock the door behind him. So
How did you meet him in the first place?
um I was at 7-Eleven getting a Slurpee and the top exploded because I overfilled it. And he was working part-time there because he was bored. Because a lot of people in the military, they do second jobs, just to keep busy. And the Slurpee went everywhere. And that's how it happened. Stupid story, huh?
No, it's great. Do you remember the first time you saw something adult related, a movie, maybe late night programming on TV, anything?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I remember being 17 years old and adult related. Me and my friends used to steal her dad's Playboys and stuff like that from underneath the bed. we would sneak a bunch of them and go up on a roof and like look at them, and then we would put them back, like nothing happened. And yeah, so that's probably the first, is like when we would sneak to see stuff. But I remember when the first Playgirl, Bret Michaels, the lead
Yes.
singer of Poison, when he was on the cover, I think I was like 16 years old, and I'm like, oh, I've got to see this dude's wiener. I have to see this. So I had somebody buy it for me. I got it home, and he never took his pants off. I was so pissed. So what I did is I drew pants on everybody in the whole magazine because I was so upset that I didn't. I mean, he didn't even take it out. I'm like, you can't do that. Put somebody on the cover, like, oh, he's going to take it out, and then he never takes it out. I was pissed. I'm still pissed
But
about that.
I'm sorry, when you saw adult material, did the thought ever cross your mind that I could do that?
Um, Not until after most of my family died, because growing up, I was the golden child. I wasn't even allowed to cut my hair. Like it was really long. Straight A student. I was, had a condo, I had a house, I had a boat, a jet ski, 3 cars. I bought my mom a car, my sister a car. I was working my fucking ass off, and I was going to school. So I'm like, the sky is the limit. But when everybody kind of died at the same time, like in succession, I just went, I'm done. I don't want any of this fucking nonsense anymore because it doesn't mean shit now. You know, I was building an empire for my family. And then when everybody died, I'm like, I don't want this fucking garbage. What the fuck am I can't drive 3 cars at the same time. So I'm like, get rid of them, sell them, whatever. And right then I was like, what can I do now? Because I took a leave from Caesar's Palace. I'm like, what can I do now? Like, I don't know. I have no skills. Like I'm like, well, how about being a stripper? I'm like, okay, let's be a stripper. So I went to Olympic Garden and they hired me, and I ended up being one of their ad girls, and that worked out. And so I was actually a stripper when I was on the freeway, and I met my husband, and he was the editor for Sin City, and he got me in the industry. So that's how that happened.
Oh, when you started stripping, was it strictly for the money or for the attention and the money?
It was to do something outlandish, outrageous, something that I wasn't allowed to do. I actually cut all of my hair off at that point. My hair was like to here, like early days in the industry. You'll see my hair is like about here. It's because that's where it was when I was dancing. And I was just like, you know what? You know, I'm just gonna just go crazy. So that's what happened. Just to do
Your
something that I wasn't allowed to do.
your early days in the business, you remember what your first year was? What year it was? I'm sorry.
What year was it? It was 2001, and my very first scene was for Sin City Entertainment. It was barely 18, number one. And there was a bonus thing where my first scene was with Dylan Day, but my very, very first thing on set ever was giving a blowjob to his dad. His name was Papa Wad. And I don't even know if they put that anywhere. I think they put it on like Island Rain or something, but yeah. So
But correct me if I'm wrong. That was the day you worked with the father and the son in the same day or the same scene? Do I have that right?
yeah, I was scheduled to work with Dylan Day, and his dad happened to be on set. And Dylan Day back in the day was kind of a creeper, so he got me in the bathroom and jerked off on my feet beforehand. And I'm like, is this normal? And he's like, do you want to maybe do a blowjob with my dad? I'm like, sure, why not? That's kinky. I think cool. So they ended up filming. I don't think they filmed the whole thing, but some of it, and it was pretty cool.
And before getting in the adult business, were you very sexually active?
Yeah, yeah. I was. I remember humping. I remember humping one of my friends when I was 5. Uh, I know, how gross, right?
God bless you, woman. You remember the first time you gave someone a BJ?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I was 12, going on 13, and it was a buff firefighter, and we went out to Sunset Park. And, of course, there was nothing expected of me because he knew I was a virgin. So, you know, so we went to, mess around. And I'm like, yeah, let me just go suck his dick. And then when I pulled his dick out, I was very disappointed. So, I mean, it was like, but I mean, for your first BJ, I mean, something small like that is like, it's easy to maneuver and
Right?
practice on.
But do, does he complete? And where does he complete? Are you surprised by that? Do you expect that?
I no, because the type of guy, the bravado that the guy exuded, and the muscular, and his attitude, I would have thought that his dick was like 10 inches long, and then you pull it down and it's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it still to this day doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the guy was a total douchebag.
What a shock. Anyway,
What a shocker.
at this point, you consider yourself good at giving a BJ.
Well, let's see. I've won an award for it, which makes me, like we said before, a little bit better than everybody else. And I think I'm extremely good at it because there isn't one person that I've given a blowjob to that hasn't said, wow, you know? And even it's like, okay, be nice or don't be nice, I don't, care. Give me the criticism because it'll only make me better. People are like, wow, wow. So I know what I'm doing.
So, for you, what's the secret to a good BJ? Are you a hand person, a spit person?
It's a whole routine, not a routine, but like when you give a blowjob, it's not just to get them off, it's not just to get them hard. It's not just to play with it. And, it's a whole routine you got to do. It's like the foreplay on the inner thighs, in the balls, and the ass area, and the breath, and this, you don't just go gobble gobble, you slowly tease, get it worked up, get this get that nice streamer material in the back of the throat, you know, and it's more of this motion while you're holding while you're while this finger is underneath the balls in the taint, so it presses on the prostate, and you're holding the balls down as oh, now she's air. Yeah. Now you're gonna make that into some silly something, huh?
No, no, no. Do you like giving BJs to please your partner or because you like doing it yourself?
I like doing it because I like the reaction I get from my partners. I like to feel the intensity of their body like seize up when it's really good, or when they start to shake a little bit, or when they get the chills all up and down their entire body, and they're so uncomfortable and so in so much pleasure that they're like they can't talk. I like that because I like sex, and that's what I like, and it gives me a little bit of control.
So when
What
you
I
have,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so when you have a man's penis in your mouth, do you feel a sense of power over him?
Absolutely, absolutely. Anytime I have a man's penis anywhere near my body, I feel in control because at that point it's mine. And when I hone in and seriously get into the sex, and it's just you and me, and the passion of it all, that dick belongs to me, and that guy and his dick would probably agree. Yes, I'm yours. Yes, yes.
Have you ever used your oral abilities to get something you wanted?
Have I ever used my what?
Your BJ skills to get something you wanted?
No, because there's nothing that I can't get without sucking somebody's dick.
Do
Good
you
answer.
do you like edging guys?
I do. However, I don't like when I'm edging a guy, I don't like when they squirm away from me, like, oh, trying to not come, you know, because I think that's kind of cheating. If I edge it right until you're about to come and then I pinch it off, you have to sit still so you can take it. But the guy who said like wiggle back and like, okay, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it, give it a minute, give it a minute. That's not edging. That's that's just building it up. That's not edging. You have to be able to pinch it back.
And are you okay being face fucked and all that?
Yeah, I actually did facial abuse, which was they had a director that was really, really awesome the last two times that I did it, but then they changed the director to the guy that took the stills, and you could just tell that that guy hates women. He's a total fucking douchebag. So the last time I did it, it was just way too much and just ridiculous. They had like this whole board up on do's and don'ts, and I'm like, yeah, I already know, and so that guy was just overshooting. Like, it was just dumb. I was just not into it at that point. I'm like, I'm not going to do this again unless you get a better director, because the guy that they had before, even though it's a really, really hardcore scene, extremely hard, um, he would make you feel at ease. He would talk you through things, because everybody knows going into a scene like that, you're on pins and needles. You're like, oh, dude, this is gonna suck.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're losing sleep for like 2 weeks beforehand. You're like, oh, why did I agree to this? And the director that they had, he was nice. He was, very, he would he was just nice, and he would smile, and he was a little short guy, and he was fun and entertaining, and he made you feel at ease, that it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. And it wasn't that bad because he was such a nice guy, you know. The asshole that they got now, it's like nothing but there's no nice people on the entire set. So you have no fucking outs. You have nobody to talk to. You have no sympathy from anybody. You're like, fuck this. I'm not doing this shit again. At least if I'm having a hard time and I gotta sit down for a minute, everybody's staring at you like, why can't you take it? Why can't you take it? It's like, how about you take it? How about you take it? Give me a dick. Let me throat fuck you for a little while, you piece of shit. You woman hating piece of shit.
Do you remember when you lost your virginity?
Yes.
Did you initiate
Yes.
that? Did they initiate that? How does all that work out?
I was 14 to the Air Force guy. And this is a really strange story. Um, like I told you, I was fit in with like the goth kids and the stoners. And so I would go to thrift stores and I'd buy band t-shirts, band like whatever they had on them, like Nine Inch Nails, whatever. But I
Right.
never listened to music when I was wearing those shirts. I was just trying to fit in. Now, I lost my virginity wearing a Cure t-shirt. This is a true story. Cure t-shirt. And it's not until almost like 37 years later that I actually discovered the band, The Cure. And I'm like, holy shit, this band rocks. And I had lost my virginity wearing that t-shirt. So I tracked down uh, one of the originals. Of course, it's not the original because they don't make them like that anymore, but it was like a reprint of the original. Took it to one of the concerts. And in London, I actually got asked backstage by the band, and I got pictures with them and everything because they're like, wow, we haven't seen that t-shirt in forever. And I'm like, yeah, I lost my virginity in one just like it, which is why I have the Cure tattooed right here. Isn't that funny? And that's such a stupid story.
That's amazing. You have sex the first time. Do you immediately become sexually active, or do you wait before you do it again?
Um, After I lost my virginity,
Yes, ma'am.
um, okay, after the initial like popping of the cherry, of course, you're a little sore or whatever. Um, but then it's like you want to do it all the time. And I actually still have a calendar from that year where we were like, we did it 5 times today, we did it 7 times today, we did 2 times today. Like, I don't know, I was like a nymph. I'm like, because at that point, it wasn't until probably like 5 years later until I had my first orgasm. So, and then it wasn't until like 17 years later that I actually figured out how to do it myself. Very repressed, I know.
Do you remember the first time you had anal sex?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do you mean on film or when I tried to
No,
practice?
when you tried it off camera.
Yeah. So I think I was 17, and I was like a hostess, at the in the forum shops at Caesars, and there was a really hot guy that worked there, and he reminded me of somebody else. And so we got trashed and we went back to his place. And they're like, him and his friend were like, oh, can we like DP you? I'm like, what does that mean? Like, one in your butt and one in your pussy. I'm like, yeah, sure. And like we tried really hard. It just like nobody could get it in my butt for some reason. It was just too
Right.
tight, and it was just we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So I mean, we tried that day, but to no avail. So the actual something in my butt was when I had to practice when I was a contract girl for Jill Kelly Productions. Um, when I went into that company, they were mainly a girl. They only had like two, which is Alexis and Tyler Faith were only doing boy girls. The rest of them were doing just girl girl. And none of them were doing anal. None of them were doing DPs. None of them were doing gang bangs. And so when they signed me, I'm like, this company is not going to last if you keep putting the same five girls in the same five type of scenes, just mixing them up every single fucking month. This company is going to go tank. You got to, people want to see hardcore. They want to see the gonzo shit. So they finally let me, do my own fucking series. And I'm like, yeah, let's do fucking DPs. Let's do gangbangs. Let's do anal. Let's do gagging. And so they're like, okay, you're doing the first anal scene. I went, oh, shit. I hadn't thought of that. By that time, I hadn't done anal yet. And I'm like, fuck, I just shot myself in the foot. So my first anal scene, I was actually watching it the other day. Wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But I do remember on set going, easy, easy now. It took them a good 10 minutes to ease it in because I'm like, yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
You remember your first gangbang off camera?
I have never done a gangbang off camera.
Okay. On
Never
camera,
done.
I'm sorry. On camera, was the excitement for you to see how many penises you could take at once? Was it the excitement that you were the center of attention? What was the attraction there?
Um, well, for me, like doing a gangbang, the more the merrier. However, if you get too many guys, I only have, I can only do so much. So like there's guys being left out, you know, or switching around and stuff like that's kind of awkward. But I would like to do like a whole room of guys. Like I did a 65 guy bukkake. You know how fucking gnarly that was? That shit was gnarly. And it was just dicks everywhere, you know? And like they were all in line, and I wanted to touch everybody to help them along, just to show them that I was, giving some attention to them. But there was just so many that, some of them would like, you just walk in and come, and I didn't even get to touch him at all. I don't think I even saw the dick. It's like a run by. I'll give him credit because he is the one that gave me my first scene back with a 7 black guy gangbang. And I do owe it to him. I was like, I can still do this. He's like, okay, we'll see. And I did it. And he's like, okay. Funny too, because T Real is one of the performers and he's actually my agent now. How funny is
Small
that?
world. But
Small world.
for you, how much different are you than the people see on camera? How much of this is an act?
You know what? And as long as I've been doing this and as much as I've gone through in my life, you should always be honest with everybody, no matter fucking what, even if it hurts their feelings, At this point, why fucking lie about shit? Why lie about it? It's not going to make me any more popular, any more cute, or make anybody love me anymore. If you fucking don't like me, then step on, Don't lie to people. I hate people that lie to people. So what you see is what you get. And you can ask anybody who actually knows me or who has seen me on set or seen me at parties. It's the real me. I don't bullshit and put on a facade for anybody because I really don't give a fuck what people think about me. Because it's not about what you think, it's about what I can make you think that you love. And I want to give you good porn. I want to, so my attitude or whatever, you don't have to like me personally, but if you take my mouth and you fuck me, you'd still want to fuck me.
And has your perception of sex changed when you got into sex business?
Mm, well, when you're having sex at home with somebody, usually, it's very closed. Even when I have sex with porn stars, when I'm fucking them on the side and they come over, we're all closed up and like, like actually real humping and shit like that. There's no like opening up to the camera and smacking the dick on the pussy and oh, let me see it and oh, give me the lube and like in and out bullshit. It's like two people on top of each other just humping their asses off. Usually both of us come within fucking 30 seconds. So the real sex is not like porn sex if you enjoy it.
And for you, what is the reality of this business versus what people think it is?
What's the reality of it?
The
The
reality of it.
reality of it is the reality of it is that they are censoring people too much. They are only, like I said, like Pornhub, like the top 10% and stuff like that. They're cutting everybody else out. Big companies like Brazzers and stuff like that, they're not giving anybody else any chances to make any other movies. So when you go on Pornhub, oh, she's trending and she's popular. That's because they only hire them because of the numbers on their social media. And like if I was like 18 years old and I'm looking at porn for the first time and I want to see what's hot, what's top, what's new, you know, they're being censored because they're being brainwashed into thinking that these are the top girls because there's a reason why, oh, because she's sexy or because she's hot or because she loves sex. No, it's fucking politics. It's all about fucking numbers. And I hate that. And I hate that. They don't even know they're being brainwashed and censored at the same time. So I hate that. That somebody needs to change it, but it's all about money. So can't really change big corporations and their money.
And for you, your journey in the sex industry, is there any part of it that shocks you, amazes you, you survived it, you didn't think you would, just anything?
I'm kind of shocked at like the facial abuse stuff. Like, who is jacking off to people throwing up? I mean, isn't that people like that want to be serial killers someday? Like, who the fuck gets off on that shit? I don't know. People that hate women, I guess, and they're probably closet homos. I don't know, but I would never jerk off to somebody throwing up.
Mm.
Who does that? That's not normal. Normal.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit shocks me now. Back in the day, Max Hardcore, he used to do a lot of that throwing up in the bucket, eating out of the ass type of shit. And he chased me for the longest time. And the last time I saw him was about 3 months before he died at a party after not seeing him for 12 years. And he strolls up to me in his stupid fucking hat and he goes, "Have you changed your mind yet?" I said, "Get the fuck out of here."
Mm.
No, not ever, dude. But then I did facial abuse. So he's like, but that was after, so it's
But
pretty
the,
funny,
the
huh?
the irony of Max Hardcore is most of the stuff he got in so much trouble for before is now commonplace.
Yeah, the stuff that was taboo before. And, a lot of the times, like when I came, well, actually, before I got out of the industry, I was getting a lot of tattoos and stuff, like a lot of brandings and stuff like that. And that's because I was going through, my death and stuff like that. And it takes you a good 10 years to self-destruct and get over that stuff to where you can come full circle. And, it's almost like you have to give yourself therapy and stuff like that. But they weren't hiring any girls with tattoos. Like if you had a tattoo, you were out, no tattoos, no tattoos. And now every girl has a tattoo. And it's like, oh, I told you. I was doing tattoos before it was cool, yo. And you guys wouldn't hire me.
Anything you want to say to all of your fans?
Yes, to all my fans, I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me. You guys have my fan mail address. Send them to me. I get fan mail every single day. I do respond to every single one. And I could not do it without you. Without any fans, there would just be me and nobody would care. So thank you guys.